ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mississippi Wrestling Network. It's your boy Tim Dobbins. I'm here with my partner Ty Nyland. All right, man. So let's do a little recap. We've got to watch some good wrestling going in so far this year. And we got some really exciting things coming up. Let's start with the North Pontotoc tournament that we covered. What were a couple of standouts that you remember from that one right there?
Well, of course, let's start with North Pontotoc. You have Luke Hale, he's looking good. Eli Sheffield. JD, the young guy.
Yep.
JD looked good there toward the end, which I'm glad to see him, doing his thing again this year. Saw Cooper Warren a little bit. Carson Hale, Carson's looking good again this year. I'm sure there's some more I'm missing.
I'll tell you one of them that's been standing out to me that we've got to see is Grayson Holly. Undefeated on the season so far.
From South Pontotoc.
Yeah, from South. We've seen them at that North Pontotoc tournament at Oxford. We've covered them, and he's pinning his way through the season right now.
You always like watching the Holly brothers.
Yeah. Yep.
One wins, you want to see the other one do the same.
That's right. That's right. Now, also at that North Pontotoc tournament, we had French Camp and Saltilla.
We did.
Now, from Saltilla, obviously, Trip, BJ, they did their thing there. But the one that stood out to me was Holly.
Holly Bill.
Yeah, Holly Bill at that North Pontotoc tournament. She just looked dominant, pinned her way through that.
She did, and you can't leave Monet out.
That's right.
Monet, she always comes up with this big slam from somewhere.
That's right, and that's where I guess she more came onto the map for me at Oxford is getting to see her just because I got to see her get out there and get more reps that day. But she's just
so strong.
Yeah,
she can outpower her opponent.
100%. And let's see, she was at what weight class was that? 114 pounds is what she was wrestling at. And she looks like she could take on, these 120, 130 pound girls like easily.
She is, and she's a competitor, and she's got a lot of grit to her.
I agree.
And word through the grapevine I got, she's headed to the military after graduation.
Well, hey, that's the path I chose. That's not a bad path, and if you use the military to your advantage, it will work towards your advantage. So hey, she's clearly got the work ethic, clearly got the discipline.
She does.
And that'd be an exciting future if she doesn't continue to make a decision to keep wrestling, because that's always an option.
And it is.
Yeah, that was kind of my standouts from that. Then we went over to Oxford, and we got to see Oxford, Saltillo, and South. Talk to us about some of the Oxford wrestlers that stood out to you.
Well, yeah, Oxford boys. I don't know a lot of the Oxford guys' names. I know them, when I see them.
Gotcha.
Conrad always has a good group of guys over there at Oxford. You got the young guy, I can't remember his name now.
You had Chris Perez at 132 pounds. He looked real good. Him and Anthony Sanchez, those two really stood out. They had gas tanks. And they were high pace, and they kept it going, through that match, and basically they outlasted their opponents. And then you had Tristan. I can't remember what his last name was, but he took on Jay. That's the guy who Jay Chisholm wrestled that night, and he ended up pinning him in the second period. That was a really tough back and forth match. But I would have to say that probably the one that stood out for me as an Oxford wrestler on the night was, I think her name's, excuse me if I pronounce this wrong, Sade Underwood.
The girl.
Yeah. She just blew through Charlie from South Pontotoc and Holly from South Tilla. That's the one that gave Holly her first loss. And I mean,
Yep.
that girl, that's another one. She looked strong for that weight class. She looked very strong at 120 pounds.
She did, and she'll go far this year. Back to the boys, it's the Gibson boy.
Yeah.
I think Jaden Gibson.
Yep, Jaden Gibson.
Yep.
He looked real good.
He's one.
Yep, he looked real good.
Yep.
And then you also had Bruce. He's the one that took on Zeke from South Tilla. And he went out there, hard fought at the beginning, but he got a first period pin at 165 pounds. That's another one that he stood out to me. Now, you were able to make your way over there, and you caught some South Tilla, Lewisburg, and New Albany action. Give us some of your thoughts on that, because I wasn't able to make it to that one.
Lewisburg looked good. I'll have to say, without seeing any of the other teams, I haven't seen Tupelo yet. DeSoto Central, Corinth, Olive Branch, I haven't seen Starkville yet. Lewisburg's the team to beat right now. I mean,
So you're giving them the nod. For
I
right now in the
am.
season.
It seems like, Cody and the team come in there with a plan, and they executed it. With that,
Proper preparation.
It is. With that being said, New Albany boys, they got to get a good look at them. They won some matches. They look good.
Yeah, especially for a first-year team.
First-year team, they got some wins. Hope they carry that momentum and keep going with it.
Now with New Albany, I'm excited because now, unfortunately, sorry football players, but they're out of the playoffs now in football. That came an end to their undefeated season, and so I'm excited to see who from the football team ends up coming out and joins the team for the New Albany wrestling. And because I would like to get a good look and see, like, okay, this is where New Albany's really going to be in their first year once we see what athletes they end up picking up from.
It will be nice to see who they get to come over. I mean, from what I saw the other night, they got some kids that got enthusiasm to them, and they get really excited, and it's enjoyable to watch them. They got some wins against, South Tilla.
Now New Albany has a girls wrestling team as well, right? They have some girls turnout.
They do. The girls look good. I got to talk to, some of the girls from New Albany. I spoke to Harper the most. Of course, you have Harper, Ainsley, Kaylee, and Nay right now. And from what I'm talking, what they've said to me, they're trying to recruit other girls to come wrestle. And, from talking to them, you just see it in their eyes. They're excited.
Yeah.
They want more girls to come with them.
I'll tell you one. I'll go ahead and name drop. Sorry, Landry. But Landry Kent. So she came in here and she trained MMA with us for a while. Now, her mom owns the Kent Beauty here and, does like the pageant things and all that. But I think she ended up getting second in the state in shot put last year.
Okay.
And I mean, she can physically handle herself, and like that's an athlete that I know she's tough. That I would like to see her take a step out there. I think she's a senior this year, so it's going to be hard to get her out there. But if you can, Landry Kent, y'all go get her.
Hey, yeah, I mean, you want to see the girls grow.
That's right.
Especially in New Albany, 4 to 5 girls, you'd like to see more. I'd like to step back and talk Pontoc girls.
Yeah.
You watch them, you watch South Pontoc girls too, and I mean, they get after it.
Well, that was another one from the North Pontotoc tournament that we didn't mention was Pontotoc. And even their boys come out and got some wins.
They do.
They just some rough dudes, man. Like, it looks like they got some athletes that are just coming out there and they're trying real hard. Like you can see they're starting to pick some techniques up and stuff, but a lot of it's effort.
I think that they'll be a good late season team. They'll learn to kind of slow down, pace themselves. Because I mean, North Pontoc, they come out, guns a-blazing. They were so. It was
the rivalry.
Yeah, well, they'll start to slow down, figure out what they need to do, try to set their own pace, and stuff. Same thing with the girls.
That's a good observation of like slowing down, because that is one of the things that I saw them. It's like they would get to a good position, but then they'd be in such a hurry to keep going, they'd blow right past that. And that's a good observation. Now that you say that, like that's exactly how I would assess it as well. It's like they could just slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
really
it's like they're so fast, but they're not thinking about what they need to do next.
Right.
You know, what's the best way to advance their position?
Right. But I agree with that. All right, man. So you got anything else from that one?
No, I mean, well, South Pontotoc. Talk about them girls. You know, they look good too, along with the boys.
Yeah. Now, yeah, for sure. With the boys, the one that stands out to me, and I know like might be a running joke thing at this point, but the one with the farmer tan on his legs, right? Landon Pettis, right, or Pettit. Like that kid right there is just going to be rough. He's the kid that wrestled at 165 pounds.
Yep.
And then in Oxford, you know, him and Bruce just battled. But I mean, he's picked up a couple wins, and he's one of the ones that he would be my wrestler to watch this year at South Pontotoc. It's like, you know, just we kind of know what we're getting with the Holly boys. You know, we're excited about seeing their improvements.
Well, it's easy to talk about them because we've seen them so much.
Exactly. But Landon Pettis, like that's the one from South Pontotoc. That's my wrestler to watch from South Pontotoc right there. That kid, he's got the work ethic. He comes out there and he wrestles hard. And he's another one. If he can learn to slow down in some of them positions and realize what he's got and use that, I think he's going to be really tough to beat later in the season.
Maybe will. They have a bigger team this year.
That's right. And now with the girls, let's see. They had, let's see if I can pick one. Because we saw a couple of them. I can't remember which one it was that I'm looking at these names here. But I want to say she's like the 160 pound girl. She's just rough, man.
She is.
Like
and that's what I've always said. I've always said the girls seem like they get rougher than the boys do.
Yes.
And that's why I enjoy watching them. So, you know, girls keep bringing the intensity across the state.
That's right. And we're here for it. All right. Speaking of which, we're going to get into some of our upcoming events. Looks like December 3rd, we're going to be at Tupelo. There'll be Saltillo, North Point, and Olive Branch there. Now, mind you, that's December 3rd. What you looking for out of that one?
Well, I mean, we'll get to see what North Point has. Olive Branch also.
Yeah, and that'll be getting our first look at Tupelo as well.
It will. You know, I'm expecting Brian to have a secret weapon, which I figure is going to be Clay Crane.
That's the wrestler that I was going to mention. You know, like when we talk about Tupelo, that's the name that has stood out to me was Clay Crane. So just lead into that. You know, what gives you that impression that he's going to be the guy over there?
Clay's just a solid wrestler. I mean, he just hasn't had his chance the last 2 years. You know, he had an issue with some ringworm. You know, his first year of state, and he came back last year. I think he's kind of in the wrong weight class. You know, he was wrestling 144. I think he should have been a little bit heavier, and it would have helped him out. You know, feeling a little better, which I think Brian has got him back up to where he needs to be, which I think will work better for him. You still have 3 or 4 other boys at Tupelo that can do well all the way through the state.
Yeah, and I mean Tupelo's one of them schools. You know, it's big enough. You know, it's like there's somebody out there that can do it.
It is, and I don't know what girls they have returning this year.
I'm not sure about that either. I think Grady Hurley's daughter is still there.
Addison.
Yeah. Yep. She's still won. She did well in state tournament last year.
She did good.
She won a couple matches down there.
Yep.
Made a pretty good run.
She went over to Alabama with us before and wrestled, and she did good over there. Real nice young lady, and I enjoy
she's another
her.
one. She gets rough when she gets out there.
She does. I think you got to get her mad first.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like when that switch clicks, she starts getting mad, and then she really starts wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm excited to get a look at the North Point and Olive Branch teams as well. I know Olive Branch, you know, it's another bigger school up there. They'll be bringing a pretty good fan base, I'm sure.
They should, and I want to see what Corinth has. You know,
Yeah.
See what.
Yeah, I'm excited about Corinth as well. Now, that's one of the ones we may be looking at doing on December the 5th. Now, that's kind of going to be up in the air because we're also maybe possibly covering the Black Horse tournament up there at Houston High School in Tennessee. That's, from what I've heard, that's like the tournament to cover around here. There's going to be 40 teams from 6 different states. It's a 2-day tournament, 6 mats. Man, give us your thoughts on the Black Horse tournament.
It'll be a good one. It'll be good for Mississippi kids to go and get some different competition. It will be better competition. You hate to say it, but it will be.
Now that's what my expectations from what I've heard. Talking with you and talking with a couple other people that have heard about this tournament and stuff and seen it and been there before. It's like there's probably going to be some nationally ranked high school kids there. At least one, probably.
I mean, you could possibly have one. I mean, you will have some state placers. Some Tennessee state placers will be there with their school.
For sure. That's going to be huge. I'm really excited for that. I've just fallen in love with the sport since last year, and any opportunity that we get to to see some big name wrestling like this and get our Mississippi teams involved in it, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Okay, so that's December 6th and 7th, and then we will be back after that December 14th in Tupelo at the Wave Invitational. Give us some of your thoughts going into the Wave Invitational.
I just think the Wave will set. It's going to set the pace to see where these kids will be at North Half,
Right.
before they head to state. You always like an individual tournament. These kids, they seem to try a lot harder when it's an individual.
It's just on them.
Just on them. It's not a team event. Kudos to Brian for setting this up. I mean, I think it's going to be big, and it'll be some long days, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, that's my expectation, man. Just from the people that I've talked to that kind of explain to me how because I'm still learning myself, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still learning myself, and so that's why I hope some of my elementary questions help some of you out there. But just talking about the different duels and quads and an individual invitational and just what that means competitively within the sport.
Well, it'll be a place I look to see Case and BJ come back for redemption after their losses at Saltillo.
Yeah, that was two that I wasn't expecting. Whenever you called me and told me about that, I was kind of floored. But hey, at least if you're gonna do it early.
Yeah,
Get it out the way.
You have nothing to lose.
Yep.
I mean,
it's that O is gone. So what?
It's heartbreaking to see a kid go all year undefeated and get to state and lose his last match like Tripp did last year. I mean, it's hard, but it's all. I mean, even Case doing BJ. I mean, Ace McCracken had high expectations out of Saltillo and then get to state, and it falls apart.
Luke Hale's another one that
it
I'm
is.
looking. He's on a redemption tour this year.
They are. You got a lot of these boys from the east side of the state that, they're looking for this to be their year. Now, will the west side pummel that? Will the south, have something to say over it? I mean, yes.
To be determined.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
And that's what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for the competition. For all the smoke. It's like if you want to go out there and be the best, well, you got to beat the best.
You do.
Inevitably, you're going to have to run across those guys.
You
can't run from them forever.
You can't run from them forever.
Yeah, it's like you're going to have to line up across from it. And hey, it looks like we've got several willing participants, and we got some newcomers. Except that Landon Pettis from South Pontotoc. I'm telling you, man, if that kid can figure a couple things out, like he may surprise people. Going into the state tournament at the end of the year, I'm telling you, he may surprise people. Like it's something about his style and the way he wrestles that I don't know, man. I've just got a feeling.
I want to see JD from North Pontotoc.
Yeah.
You know, he's young, 8th grader.
Yes.
And you know how he's big.
Kid, that's a big kid, yeah.
He is.
And that's the thing, man, is if he can keep that composure, because it looks like he's having just fun all the time.
He is. He smiles all the time.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't get the nerves doesn't shake him. The moments doesn't,
No.
he's just happy as can be to get out there, and then he competes really well.
It does. And if he loses, he gets up with the same smile he had,
That's
you know,
right.
if he wins.
That's right.
So that's why I like JD. And
Yeah.
I would like to see JD, you know, at least place somewhere at North Half or State.
Right.
You know, that would just set the pace for his next 4 years of high school.
I agree,
But
man.
I think JD, and you know, in the coming years, is going to be a force.
It'll be a problem. Oh yeah, man. I mean, just especially because I could say, once he grows into his body, but I mean, he's already got a grown man body, but like he's gonna continue, almost like Rex Forsyth. Like that's, it's like this kid's just physically blessed, and it's
Right.
like, man, like if he just figures out how to use that, like he could be just dominant for these next 4 years through high school for sure.
His time will come. He's just
Yeah.
got to be patient and wait on it.
That's right. And then, while you're waiting, be working.
Yep.
That's the best advice I could give to any of you young athletes out there. Like, don't just wait, be working. Always be working on something. Add a tool to the tool belt when nobody's looking. Like go ahead, slide that extra tool on in there, and then have it and be prepared to use it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes of it.
We shall see, man.
We'll see what
So-
comes of the girls also.
That's right. So we got December 3rd at Tupelo, December 6th and 7th, possibly the Black Horse, and then December 14th, we have the Wave Invitational. Ladies and gentlemen, coaches, let us know in the comments where you would like to see us next. If there's any events that y'all have coming up that, you want us to consider, coming down there and covering, reach out, let us know. We have an open line of communication. We're here to help grow the sport in any way we can, and just let us know. We can't help if we don't know. So
We'd like to get down south.
yeah, like that in particular. Middle of the state, south, like we want to be there as well. It's like we're because of where we're regionally located, we're covering a lot of the north teams, but like this is the Mississippi Wrestling Network, and we want to be able to come down and produce a show for you as well, and give these kids these opportunities with this platform and everything. So don't be afraid to reach out, even if it's like coaches. If you want to do a Zoom interview, reach out, get the word out about your team, about wrestlers that people should be knowing about. I guess that would be like just the biggest thing is, hey, this platform is to be used to elevate these wrestlers in any way possible.
Yeah, and then, we'd like, send us pictures.
Yeah. Yes. So make sure you're sending in pictures and everything. Tag us. We'll put it out for everyone to see. We'll boost your school. We'll boost your teams. We don't have any biases or anything. Here it's just we want to support Mississippi wrestling, and any way we can do that, let us know. But feed into it with us. Send us stuff in. Like I said, coaches, there's wrestlers that we need to know about, like team photos, anything like that. Send it in.
Yeah, we love to have anything you got. And sorry if we missed anybody's name.
Yeah.
I know when we was talking about Saltillo, we missed Ace at the first part of it.
Yeah, there's several, and like I said, we I've got notes written in different notebooks.
Yeah,
and
and
everything.
I couldn't think of Jaden Gibson, from Oxford. So
It's
it is what it is.
Yeah, it's like trust me, ladies and gentlemen, and once we see these wrestlers more, and we can learn their names more, because some of it, I remember their matches because I write my notes and stuff, and so I know who I'm talking about. But the more we see them, the more we'll be able to pick up their names and not let as much slip by us. But inevitably something's going to slip by us. So it's like it's not a knock on anybody. It's not we're leaving anybody out on purpose. It's just there's a lot of wrestlers, and we're looking for stuff that stands out.
Yep, definitely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments about anything that we talked about today. Again, where would you like to see us next? Stay tuned.